All right, there it is. 450 is all put back together. Got the fuel on, no leaks, oil, coolant in it. Everything's looking great. I'm gonna bet this thing fires probably first or second kick, no problem. Let's see how it does. Super excited to be back riding this thing again. Hour meter is fresh, so let me put you up on the tripod here and let's see what happens. Probably put the choke on. I never start it with the choke in the summer, but we'll put it on this time. Okay, the trick to starting an FCR carb bike is to roll it to top dead center, which I think was already there, right there, and then flick the throttle 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and that allows your accelerator pump to shove fuel into the cylinder. I'll do it one more time just for good measure because it was dry. Get it to top dead center. There we go. And then one kick and it should fire, as long as our idle is adjusted correctly. Bike always fires first or second kick, always. So, let's see what our needle valve, see if we got fuel in the carb. Okay, so we got fuel in the carb, that's not the issue. At least, shouldn't be the issue. Interesting. Okay, so I just checked spark, and I have spark. I wasn't really worried about it. What I am worried about, though, is whether or not I've got fuel going to the bike, or if possibly this plug is just caked in oil from the piston having oil on it. So I'm going to pull this out and just see what it looks like. I'm betting that's the issue. I think I had a little bit of oil on the crown of the piston, and I'm wondering if it just totally saturated this plug. So, because it's not even trying to fire, but I've got spark, so... I have a really hard time believing that fuel is the issue, only because I got a clean carb and no issues that way. So let's see what this plug looks like. Yeah, okay. Plug looks amazing, so that tells me right there, I'm not getting any fuel for some reason. So I wonder if my, I don't know why I wouldn't be getting fuel. Yeah, it doesn't even smell like fuel. Like there's no fuel on the plug at all. So that's interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and put that other plug in though, just because it wouldn't surprise me if maybe the plug is bad. But just for kicks and giggles, we'll put that other plug in and we'll kick this thing over a couple times. But I don't smell fuel in there, so I have a hard time believing it has anything to do with the plug at all. So let's put this together and see what we end up with. But I do have good spark, so that is not the problem. Yeah, I'm not getting any fuel, which is odd. Very odd. Okay, so I drained the carb, and as you guys can see, there is more than enough fuel in that carburetor to be feeding the bike. So the float's not stuck closed. So it's almost like I've got plugged jets or something, but that does not make any sense to me. I just cleaned the carburetor out, but I don't know. And that trash that's in the bottom there's just the dirt from what was in the bucket before I dumped the fuel. So okay, so I have a theory, and that is that because this oil on this filter had pooled up and was leaking out the side, I wonder if it leaked into the carb boot and leaked down into the carburetor and possibly clogged it up. I am seriously hoping that's it. Otherwise, I'm back to tearing the carb apart anyway and figuring out why I don't have any fuel coming through it. So I'm betting that that's probably the issue. Very first thing I thought of was that, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll find out here in 2 seconds though, once I get this thing off here. Okay, so I stuck a mirror in there so I could see my accelerator pump working, and I'm not getting any fuel spray out of my accelerator pump when I flick the throttle. So that's the first concern there, because even if the main jet is clogged and the pilot jet is semi-clogged, the accelerator pump should still shoot fuel, and it should try to start. It should just pop, 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 but it's not even trying that. So I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to take that carb bowl off and see what's going on inside there. But interesting. All right, guys. Ended up pulling my accelerator pump off. Found no issues with that. Ended up pulling my carb bowl off. Found no issues in here. But I'll show you what I did find, and that is, you guys are probably going to have a really hard time seeing this, but this O-ring pinched just like that. And so what happened was this folded in when it pinched, and that caused an air leak in between the carb bowl and the carburetor body. So the way a carburetor works is a Venturi effect. So basically it takes air, pulling of air through the carburetor to pull fuel up and through the carb body, if that makes sense. So by having that air leak in there, when I was trying to roll the motor over, it was pulling air through the intake system, but it wasn't pulling fuel up through the carburetor into the intake. It was pulling air through here, and I was never getting anything done. So that's the issue right there. I hate that this is the case. Well, I'm glad that this is the case because it's a very easy diagnosis. But yeah, it's super frustrating because you work hard to make sure all this is good to go, and then you put it all together, and it's all because of a pinched O-ring. So that's the issue. So we're gonna go back together with it. I am gonna put a little O-ring lube back on this thing again, this time to keep it in place rather than just think it's keeping it in place. This sucker will stay in place this time, I promise you. But yeah, it's just one of those deals that every once in a while it happens, and just when it wasn't drawing fuel, I was wondering what the deal was. And here's the funny thing about this O-ring. When I put this in, you guys will go back and watch my carb video here. When I put this together, I had this O-ring move on me just a little bit, and I thought, oh, I got it, not a big deal. And little did I know I didn't have it, and it is a big deal. So yep, that's my no start issue right there. So do not pinch your bowl gasket or your bowl O-ring, because that will cause you problems. So I'm going to put this back on the other way, the correct way. And this time I'm not going to pinch anything. Make sure all my stuff's in there. Super frustrating, but I mean, at the same time, it is what it is. You can't win them all. I'd like to say that we're all perfect, but we're not, and mistakes happen. So okay, I just filled the carburetor bowl with gas, and I want to show you guys how this accelerator pump should work. I think I can do it with channel locks here. Now that this is sealed up, it should work if I can turn this thing quick enough, which really I shouldn't even have to turn it that quick, but okay, let's see if I can get this on camera for you guys. Okay, there we go. You see that? Okay, I'm going to show you guys. That is how it should be working. See that fuel squirt? That's what was not working before. Problem solved. felt like an idiot because I didn't adjust my idle speed. Okay, let's fire it up one more time. Okay guys, this video is kind of just spur of the moment. I thought I would just record this process and throw it up on the channel. So if this helped you out, let me know. But yeah, what ended up happening was when I put the carburetor together, I actually pinched the bowl gasket. And what was happening was I've got this fresh top end, fresh rebuild going on. And so immediately I'm thinking, well, maybe it's something to do with the spark. Maybe it's something to do with spark plug, because the carb is fresh, it's rebuilt, the top end is good. It's got to be the spark plug or something. So after finding out there was no spark, moving on to the carburetor was the next best thing. And the way that I took that air box off, or the air filter out, and just showed you guys just kind of looking at it, that accelerator pump, that thing should always be circulating fuel, spraying fuel. So that right there told me something was wrong. And yeah, it will start without the accelerator pump. Definitely without the accelerator pump. Now, the accelerator pump aids in the starting process if you flick the throttle a couple times before you kick it over, but it will start without it, with just a choke on. So that's why I knew immediately that when I saw that gasket pinch that was it, 100%. So anyway, quick little tip there. You can learn from my struggles and watching me kick the crap out of that bike over and over and over again. I don't know why I did that many times, because, well, I know why I did. I was certain that I didn't mess anything up, but the old rule goes as a mechanic, it worked before you took it apart. You put it back together and it don't work. You did something wrong. So anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't, and you can enjoy some more fails and struggles from yours truly. Thanks. We'll see you in the next one.